Oh, no chocolates today, Mr. Woods?
No, Ruby. This is all I need. Papa always told me, life is like a box of lollipops. All the flavor and fiber you'll ever need to get far in life. And boy, was he right. I never really had an end goal. Never had a reason to stop either. All I knew was I could run forever with one. Until I ran out.
And then what?
I went home.
Oh.
And we're on me. Konbanwa, and welcome to CITIUS Mag live from Tokyo. It is day 8 of the World Athletics Championships. Chris Chavez alongside Eric Jenkins and Mitch Dyer here to break down all of the action that took place today at National Stadium. Got a couple distance finals, and then finally we're reaching the peak of the relay action, which is not without some controversy. We'll get into all of that and more on today's show. But first, quick shout out to ASICS for being the presenting sponsor of all of CITIUS Mag's coverage of the World Championships. We could not be more thankful for all of their support. And today, they actually added another medalist, actually 2. We'll talk a little bit more about the brilliant race by Nadia Botticletti, and also just like the strong performance over 2 days by Talia Brooks. Fun fact about Talia Brooks is that when we did the sumo experience it's actually like 4 days ago. I think it's 20 days ago at this point. We went to the sumo place. It was an exhibition, and they asked for volunteers from the crowd. Peyton Otterdahl was there right after, competing in the shot put here. And the sumo guys knew they had their hands full with him. But even before that, Talia Brooks was one of the ASICS athletes in attendance, and then she volunteered. She didn't realize, I actually have to potentially wrestle with one of the sumo wrestlers. She just went in, took one step out of the circle, and then immediately bowed out of the whole entire thing. And it paid off because she didn't risk any injury, and then comes away with it with a bronze medal today. Talia's a electric personality when it comes to the multi-events. And so the ASICS family is super proud of her, and so are we. And we'll dissect more of all that as we chat through the rest of tonight's action. But I want to get started with some of the distance finals that capped this evening. And the first one is the women's 5,000 meter final, which is one that we were all looking forward to. We viewed this as a clash between a mix of just sort of all-time talent. You have the 1,500 meter world record holder, double Olympic champion in Faith Kipyegon. Then you've got the Olympic 5K and 10K champion in Beatrice Chebet. 2 of them who have raced 1,500 meters this year, 3,000 meters this year, posting all-time performances, but at the same time not having raced each other head-to-head. This time they do get to go to head-to-head, and in a way, I feel like it didn't necessarily go entirely chalk, but the contenders and the podium that we ended up with were pretty much expected. So I think it was Shelby Houlihan and Josette Andrews were up towards the front of the race for a good portion of it. Before, with about, I would say, 800 meters to go, is when the wheels started to move. Shelby still toward the front. Gudov Sagai, your athlete, still listening to you, saying, you know what, I might try the sit and kick approach. Sat for basically as long as possible before unleashing a kick that was not quite enough, because Shelby, Botticletti, Kipyegon, Chebet went with it as well, covered that move, and then it was just a matter of time before we saw that, oh yeah, Beatrice Chebet, the person who's been closing every single race in the final 200 meters, has been absolutely lethal, pulls the same exact move on Faith Kipyegon, dethrones the reigning champion, and it's another double gold performance for Chebet. It was a 14:54 race, so
slow.
It's very much slow.
Yeah, that was snoozing for a long time.
And then Kipyegon ends up second, Botticletti for the bronze, Houlihan in fourth, Gudov Sagai in fifth. Big ups to Josette Andrews in sixth, who was up towards the front of that race as well.
Yeah.
The 4.6 showing by Team USA is arguably one of the best for the United States. But that's what happens when you leave it to a super tactical race and everyone is a contender. So, not a totally shocking result, not as fast as maybe as we thought it would be, which made just sort of just like the crescendo to this race feel a little less dramatic than expected, but still all in all a very, very good one. Mitch, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think though it was still a great finish because when you've got Faith charging down the home straight, inherently you're going to assume that she holds on, given the 1500 meter strength, given the fact that she's run so incredibly well over the 5K before. But it was, yeah, phenomenal to see Beatrice just come motoring over the top. And it wasn't like she's just nabbed her on the line or with 10 meters to go and, you know, had to really work hard until the final stages to hold on to it. She moved past her into the straight and had cleared out with about, I'm going to say 40 meters to go and had that race sewn up, which is just ultra impressive. And you're right, it is how we thought the podium would be. And I always thought it was going to be slow, to be fair. I didn't expect it maybe.
Really?
I don't know. I just feel like the way it's
this slow.
Well, I was going to say, I didn't think it would be this slow, but I thought it would be slow because I feel like the way these championships have been run, you haven't really seen anybody go out and try and, you know, break a world record or go so unbelievably quick that they spin the wheels off people. But, I mean, shout out to Shelby because at least the Americans, what they did differently, it feels like maybe from other finals, is that they put themselves at the front and they kind of controlled the tempo. If it wasn't going to be quick, they just figured, well, I may as well stay around the front. And naturally, the squeeze came at 800, and that kind of separated everybody. But they did a great job to hold on for fourth and sixth because there were some bodies dropping late in that race.
I think, at least, I mean, you're saying that you thought the race was going to be a little bit slower, but I think a lot of us, myself included, were thinking that because of the weather dropping, you know, a significant amount of degrees in temperature, and the women's races already naturally being a little bit faster than the men's races, that this race would be a little bit quicker, especially with the prelims going as fast as 14:45 in that first prelim. I think the second prelim was something like 14:50. And so we're looking at a final that was slower than both prelims. And with the temperature and the athletes that were in it, and like I said, that this is probably one of the most talented fields that we've ever seen, especially this year, across all of the events. Like, this is certainly one of the most decorated fields. And so I think that we all thought it was going to be a little bit like, except for Mitch, who I wish we had an over under on time because you would have made out big here, which I think made it super interesting. We saw Shelby up front. We saw Josette fighting for the top four there for, you know, the first couple miles. And then ultimately we see Baracletti like make it was interesting because, you know,
before 400,
yeah, but before 400, but like you're sort of thinking that like, oh, Chebet's going to go at a mile, or Faith is going to go at a mile. Certainly it's 1200. Certainly it's 1,000 meters. 800, and it like
still nothing.
And nothing happened. It was still Shelby up front, like doing kind of a slow, like it wasn't even really a squeeze. They were just maintaining its marginal squeeze there, but Baracletti ends up taking like the hard move and is the first one to kind of show her cards just before 400 meters, and then we see the rest of the race play out. And yeah, I don't think that we're necessarily shocked at like the medal places here, but I think a fantastic showing from the American women, Shelby and Josette, both fourth and sixth. And you know, I think when we were previewing this for the last month, it seems like that, you know, we were saying like, okay, top 8 would be great for any of the Americans. So to see that, especially in the field, in a field that's as talented as this, I think is awesome for the American women. But like the top end of the race absolutely delivered, even though it was slow. It was still great.
Eric, your thoughts on this one?
I am surprised to see it be this slow.
Yeah,
I did think it would be, with the conditions, be a little bit faster.
Yeah, we'd heard rumblings that like there were athletes who were doubling back from the 15 to the 5K who had presented just sort of the idea to Faith, being like, so like let's have a slow one, and Faith just kind of laughed it off. And so no, I mean, like actually, like Faith was like, yeah, we're gonna have, it ends up having a slow one. Yeah.
It's like you can have slow ones, but I'm just surprised to see athletes like, of course, Gudov, who's never really one to let races lag too much, and Faith, they kind of just like let the race was slow for so long. I was just surprised to see it lag for this long. And that's really it. Like,
So
when was the last time you see, like, to see Faith Kipyegon lose a race?
Yep.
That's really the only surprising thing of this entire race.
Yeah.
Of course, you see, like, Beatrice is a world record holder, so it's like if Faith is going to lose to somebody,
it's an all-timer.
it's an all-timer. But it's just so interesting. It's just like you're so not used to seeing Faith Kipyegon lose a race, and then you just to see the race lag, and it just never ever picks up. This is like one of these men's sit and kick races where the women's just a women's race usually of this caliber never really happens like this. So it was definitely just surprising, but that's kind of like this championship has been
Nothing but
full of surprises, and so it's like whatever you think is going to happen is not going to happen. So in that sense, it's kind of expected, but this whole time I thought that this 5K race, Faith Kipyegon, Beatrice Chebet, Gudaf Sagai, this is like the race where it's going to be. Especially because it's dropped down. It's the temperature, perfect distance temperature. It's going to drop. It's going to be very fast. And then, of course, it doesn't happen like that. But that's very fun. I love it. And it's good to see it like that.
I think it's an incredible testament to the medal winners here of their abilities to run both fast and slow.
Yes. Yeah.
I think in a lot of scenarios here across,
this could have been the
decades
same podium
and
for like a
years.
1430 race.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly what and to your point, Chris, like we're looking at Chebet, Kipyegon have PBs that are damn near a minute faster than what they ran today, and for them for both of them and Botticletti to come out on top in a 5K that was a minute slower than their personal best, I think it's just really impressive to see, because I think normally you would see, it's like we're looking at like the men's 10K, and it's like what are we watching here? Like it's just unpredictable. But like not in the women's fields. It's just like the stars show out, and they showed up today regardless of the pace.
Except for one, and this is the biggest head scratcher of the whole entire one for me, as I'm like looking at these results right here, is Agnes Ngedic, who was like in the pack for a good portion of this race.
She sat towards the front, a lot of it.
Yeah, but then when you've run 14:01 and all she's done all season with great success has been just push it from the front and just step on the gas, and you'll still land among like the top. If you're not winning, you'll still land among the top 3. Why she didn't choose to do that? She ends up 15th place in 15:13.
Yeah, but like look at the top athletes.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to push it with athletes like Faith Kipyegon and Beatrice Chebet. I think honestly, the athlete of the distance events for the whole meet is Botticletti.
Yeah,
Come through with 2 medals, right? 2.
And Chebet too. Yeah. But I agree.
I'm not surprised by Chebet.
Yeah. Okay.
Like for Botticletti to come through with 2 medals in the 5 and the 10, that's I think the performance. I don't want to say the surprise.
Yeah, because she did medal last year. Yeah,
medal last year. But I just you look at the talent of this event, and because we're talking about like Ngedic and we're talking about all these athletes, but it's like Botticletti. She had a huge medal in the 10K, comes back, medals in the 5K, which is arguably, I think, the more impressive, given that it's with Kipyegon and Chebet, and she had to beat out Ngedic and all these and Sagai, all these athletes. I think that is more impressive than the other, because everybody else is kind of expected. Not expected, but it's like I think that
It is to a good. It is
shocking.
It is.
It actually is expected.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
as it should be.
As it should be. But it's also like kind of like the tough part of this sport where it's like you do what you're expected to do, and it's still incredibly hard, or you just like show out and you deliver. But it's like it's like we were talking with Whiteman. When Jake Whiteman was talking about yesterday, it's like, oh, you either like do what you're expected to do, and it's a huge relief, or you just fail everybody, and it sucks. And it's like that's actually like it sucks, but
It's
is
the reality
actually how
of the
this sport
situation.
goes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, liken this to like the NBA finals or something like that, like the NBA playoffs. And it's like Steph Curry is expected to go like 32, 8-8 or something like that. But you have a role player that shows up one game and ends up having 35 points or is hot from three. And it's like, oh, that's a highlight. That's in the press. That's the headliners for what's getting run around the media circuit. And it's not necessarily like, oh, Steph Curry did a bad job. He did his work. He did his job. He did what was expected. But there was someone else that's overperformed what their expectations were.
Yeah.
And Eric, to your point, I completely agree. Like, and yeah, it's unfortunate about the sport where it's like, yeah, maybe we're not excited about somebody winning gold that was the favorite, but like it is a good story.
Yeah.
It is a good story.
I think it's an interesting one because I'm surprised everyone wasn't as shocked. I didn't think it would go this slow, but when a race goes out like this and you've got Beatrice Chebet, who is every day of the week going to back her kick, and you got Faith Kipyegon, who has one of the best kicks in the world, and the race goes out slow, there would be absolutely no sense for either of them to then think like, oh, I got to start pushing. Equally for those women, then when it slows up, they're like, well, even if I try and put my foot on the gas right now and stretch it out, they're going to go with me. They're probably going to outkick me anyway. So you're kind of in this weird catch-22 where it's like, well, I may as well sit here. Maybe the heat gets to them. Maybe the squeeze comes. Maybe it doesn't. Let's just see what happens. And I suppose for Sergey and Nigetic, like there's so much conversation, particularly Goodoff, where it's like, why don't you just sit? Why don't you just try sitting and see what happens? And she did. She's tried twice now to sit and see what happens. And again, let's say hypothetically one of them went out guns blazing, right? Let's say Nigetic just went out and said, all right, catch me if you can. Not a lot of people went with her. She gets reeled in. She comes 14th. And then everyone's like, oh, why wouldn't you just sit and wait and see what happens? Maybe you could have come 5th. So there's always like the what if, like hindsight's 20/20 every time. You can always see that it would have wind up better. But to your point, when you've got these 3 women, particularly these 2 women in the race, there is not a hell of a lot you can do to change the result.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing against women that have pocket aces. Like it's like how are you supposed to work this in your favor when you're generally kind of at a disadvantage? And I will say, like, major props to Shelby and Josette, like making the most out of that situation.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about Ngedic and Sagai, like not pushing the pace, and in like maybe they could have done things differently in the last few meters of kicking. But I think both Shelby and Josette made the most of that in terms of being aggressive, being near the front. Shelby, similar to what we've seen with Cole and Grant over the last couple of days in the 5K, like control the pace up front, like do what you can do up front without blowing yourself up is basically what it is, and give yourself the best shot with 400 meters to go.
Yeah,
and I think both Shelby and Josette did that, and I think both of them walk away pretty proud of that. Like they're only
100%.
like they're only 5 seconds off of gold there, 4 seconds off of a medal, like in a 5K. I think that I think that they got to be proud of that.
Yeah, best showing by Team USA since 2013 when it was
there you go.
Molly Huddle, Shannon Rowbury. I think they were 6th and 7th, and then now today, Team USA goes 4th and 6th. I'm thinking more and more about Eric's comment about just sort of like Nadia Botticelli being like one of the most impressive performances of this championship, because like, I mean, like if she had kind of a little bit of a not necessarily like shortened season, but just like didn't race as much because probably there was some injuries that popped up here and there. And when she did perform, like it was good, but it's just like she didn't have a sling of like 10 races. She wasn't on the Diamond League circuit as regularly. And so like it would lead a lot of people to think it's like that Botticelli girl who, got a silver in the 10K and almost got a bronze in the 5K. Like, was that a fluke? Was that just like a one-time thing? And then this championships goes on to prove that it's like, no, like she's the real deal. She's still super young as well. Like she's the one athlete I think right now outside of East Africa who has found a way to contend with the likes of Chebet and Kipyegon. And so it's been cool to see just sort of like that this year was the validation of like, no, she's going to be around.
This is what you want to see Jimmy Gressier do next year or in the next world champs. When you're talking about, like, if you had seen her last year, and, you know, we have this argument a lot about, like, being a world beater and a flash in the pan and all that.
Right.
That's a very valid assumption, what you just
It's a good
described.
example, yes.
So now these athletes that are coming out here this year, and although surprising, she's a fantastic blueprint for them, being like, all right, this is the MO that I've got to now follow, because
That's a good point, Mitch. Yeah.
there's not she's an Olympic silver medalist, and there wasn't a lot of conversation surrounding her to the point of not racing a lot, but it now opens up a good blueprint.
But in like the men's side of it isn't as stacked in the top athletes as
we don't have 2 world record holders.
And I agree. Two of the goats
Barclay
there
to come in against Beatrice Chebet and Faith Kipyegon, snag a medal. Yeah, it's just like,
and an El Garouge being active.
It's
at
like
the
Jefferson-Wooden and El Garouge and Bekele are all in your race.
yeah. But Barclay, like, coming in, this is actually, in my opinion, because I'm not surprised about Chebet beating Kipyegon.
No,
I'm not.
It could have gone
I'm
either
not-
way.
Exactly. Like, if Kipyegon beat Chebet, if Chebet beat, like, you would never be surprised about it. But Barclay comes away with 2 medals and we actually should have, like, we should have been talking about her more.
Yeah.
Because yes, this is somebody that medaled in Paris, but all the focus had been on Kipyegon and Chebet because they have had these world record seasons. And so you kind of naturally, an athlete like Barclay slips under the radar, but it's just because of headlines, and that you kind of, it's our fault that somebody like Barclay gets 2 medals, and we didn't really ever talk about her before.
Well, here's the good
this.
thing, is that she is a A6 athlete, and I think we're working on trying to get some time with her tomorrow.
I saw Ben.
And so
Good.
we're able to give a little bit more shine to Barclay right after this. But no, it's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, I would say, like, think of this past year. We saw the whole breaking 4 thing, and then, like, in our eyes as fans and people that cover the sport, we saw that Prefontaine 5K, and it's like our
it's been
eyes
an
are popping
all-time
out of
year.
our head watching that 5K, and then also, like, the Faith's entire year, or Faith's entire, like, last 18 months, and
They
it's
had
like
a whole Amazon Prime series about her, like, breaking 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and so it's hard.
Actually,
It's hard.
to think that there's an Amazon Prime series, couple episodes about Faith breaking 4 minutes in the mile. It's just like the sport is at a different level of coverage right now, which is good. It's great for everybody. But it also leaves, like, athletes like Barclay, where it's like, okay, we've been spending so much time focusing on Chebet, on Faith Kipyegon, and then when these races are completely out of the blue, because it's shocking to see him go this slow.
It is.
With the caliber of athletes, and I'm not saying this is a bad race. It's a great race, because, like, I would have thought that one of these athletes would have taken it, would have made it a bit faster, and to see none of them do that, I think it's fun. I think it makes it so much more entertaining. It adds the wild card factor, and now all of a sudden you're bringing in all these athletes that you wouldn't necessarily think have a shot at it. But yeah, exactly that. It makes it so much more fun. It makes it a great watch.
Yeah. Someone in the YouTube chat chimed in. Gudov ran a pretty passive race. Is Coach Eric pleased with her tactics? I mean, she ends up 5th.
Yeah, look. Obviously, like, I've been working with Gudov for a while now, and I did truly think that Gudov but should have been in there for the medals.
Yeah.
I did all throughout the year. The way that Gudov's been running, he's been aggressive, and, like, as a coach, you want that, right? Like, you want an athlete that is so, you would rather have an athlete that's too aggressive rather than not aggressive enough, right? And so as I've been coaching Gudov, it's been super fun to see somebody who's going out in world record pace and going out sub 4 mile and my biggest thing with her has been trying to get her to just to rate it a bit, right? Like, look, let's go out at not 4 minutes, not sub 4 mile, but like 4:03 would be great. That'd be great. Like, that'd be so great. And she's like, and there's a language barrier. And so
You're like,
there's
gee, we got this.
and so there is a lot of stuff when I'm talking to her and she's not understanding it. But this is like this event, particularly with the 5K, with Kipyegon, with Beatrice Chebet, with Gudov Sagai, and then now with Boticletti, like
Yeah.
you're seeing so many athletes. And now it's like, is Boticletti going to be one of these athletes that just sticks around and is now the athlete we talk about? Because I didn't talk, and that's on me. I didn't talk about her, but now it's like, well, we have to talk about
You
her.
have to, yeah.
She's incredibly talented, has medaled
Twice.
twice, three times. I mean, she medaled twice this year. She medaled
Yeah.
3 times in this past year. So it's like, I think it's great. It makes this event so much more fun. The distance events are so great, and
Yeah.
all of it.
So, yeah, all things considered, Chebet, Kipyegon, I hope that this is a continued showdown for years to come. Like, I hope it's not like, Faith only chooses to do the 5K after this and, like, has, just only tasted silver at this point, because she is such a fierce competitor, that I hope that Faith continues to stick to the 5K, because, like, the race goes a little bit differently. She could have beat Chebet on like today. I want more of these matchups. I don't want these two to continue, like, to one to duck the other and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm hoping for, and I'm all with you, Eric, on Boticletti. Let's shine that spotlight on her a little bit more. It's fine, because, like, she ran in the 1420s earlier this year at the Rome Diamond League, at a home Diamond League. That was like a big performance for her. She doesn't have that's, I guess, the thing is, she doesn't have the 14:0 PR that nowadays is like, gets you up on the all-time list. It's coming. I firmly believe,
It
like,
seems like she's just kind of like as of recently, she's a championship
Yeah.
racer.
Yeah.
Like, she shows up for these meets.
Yeah.
She's not doing like tons of. She's not winning Diamond League finals.
Yeah, she's clearly not too obsessed with time, because even the Diamond League she ran at home. She's clearly liking
she's
these bigger
sniffing,
moments
and,
and these
like,
bigger
yeah,
opportunities.
that was the crazy part, I think, was when I did look up, it's just like, oh, what was Boticletti's, like, PR, and it's like, oh, she's not the European record holder, but she easily could be. Yeah.
And what's hard about that is, like, there. Okay, and can I get defensive here for just,
Go on,
for
sure,
just a
yeah.
second?
I'll allow it.
Is there's 8,000 professional athletes here, and so, like, when we ultimately end up looking at a season's best descending order list,
Oh yeah,
and
throws
then
you
you're
off.
looking at, like, former medalists that have a season's best that is like 30 seconds slower than the world lead, you're like, well, something's up this year.
Yeah.
Like, certainly something's up, and, like,
I
it's
kinda
just
think-
like actually literally impossible to
Yeah.
to keep track of every single athlete's performances or just, like, health of that year. So yeah, like, someone like Boticletti that doesn't race that much outside of Italy, or like isn't coming over to Prefontaine. If she came over to Prefontaine, hey, hand up. I didn't see her because I was watching the front end
No,
of,
she wasn't
that
there, yeah.
sub 14 race. So yeah, it's difficult sometimes to keep track of everyone, but it's so cool to see who the championship racers are, and I think that that's something to really hold on to, because they aren't paced races. Like, this is something that we talk about all the time. Like, you just
Yes.
know how the Diamond League races are going to go because they're all paced. They have the lights, everything's set up. It's, you know exactly what's going to happen out in front of you, but, like, you don't when you get to these championships, and that's the coolest thing.
I think the exact, like, there is something about, like, Boticletti knows how to run championship races. Like, it's like when we were talking about with Whiteman.
Yeah.
This is a guy who isn't the fastest over these time trial races, over these races where there's European records and all these things, but it's a guy that just gets it done.
Yeah.
In a championship races with medals on the line. It's kind of the same with, like, Boticletti.
At this point, yeah, and she's still super young.
Is an athlete. If you were to want an athlete, you would rather have an athlete that gets it done in a championship performance rather
Yes.
than somebody that just time trials.
Oh yeah, because there's so
1,000%.
many of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 100%. It's like if you are all these companies, right? You would rather have the athletes that get it done at the championship moments when it actually matters rather than the times, because the times are always going to change.
Yeah.
There's every single year, somebody's going to run faster than you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, but nobody's going to take the medal that you have got this
Truly.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's all that matters. And that's what's like fun to watch, especially with like the Jake Whitemans and the Nadia Botticlettis, where it's like, okay, yes, you're not as fast as the athletes we've been talking about all year, but you've got the hardware.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, the most beautiful nuances of track and field come from championships, right? Because it's a skill. It's a genuine skill to be able to pick apart rounds and prime yourself for a final, right? Not to your point of 8,000 people or whatever. Not everybody has the capabilities to be able to put themselves in a position and take home a medal. Only 3 of them are getting handed out each year for each event. So it really is an incredible, I suppose, piece of her legacy, because that legacy is going to mean a lot more as a 2-time world champ medalist, Olympic silver medalist, than 1405 European record holder, 5th, 6th in multiple championships. And that was my point through the week. Like, every athlete would trade every fast time for a global medal for sure.
Yeah.
And Whiteman's the perfect example because he's a technician of running rounds. He should have a TED talk on how to make it through rounds and how to look damn good doing it. And there's a handful of those types of athletes. Jakob at his best is that type of athlete and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, Eric, great point. Yeah. We have to do more homework on him moving forward, but she's a star.
Excellent signing by Asics. I will say that.
Well, it's like Botticletti. It's like going forward, is this going to be like the athlete that Botticletti is, right? Like, is this somebody that just rises to the occasion at the world championship?
You can
level?
never doubt her. No matter what the season's best sheet says now, you see her on the start line, you're like, well,
100%. And you see it on the start line in May, and you're just like, oh crap.
It's also wild to see like Faith Kipyegon. This is an athlete that doesn't. I mean, there was a whole Amazon series about her breaking 4, and it's kind of like she had her hands full here. She lost. And there's so much of this thing where we build up these big stars that they can't lose. And now you realize that they are humans. And you've seen it multiple times at especially this world championships. Like, you're seeing Jakob struggling to even make it through rounds.
Yeah.
And it's just like to see Faith Kipyegon, as an athlete that has been every single time out so far before this championship series, world record. And now it's like, okay, she came in second. And it's like, yes, all these athletes are just human.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that time and time again. And I think it's actually great.
It is.
Good for
it
the
is.
sport.
I mean, there's just more parity to everything. And it's like, there's not going to be that runaway star the whole entire time. It's like, here's the thing about like the inspiration behind breaking 4 and all that kind of stuff is that, like, I think maybe even like 2 weeks after that, I was like, well, you know, you could have put Gudov in that race and she probably would have also run, you know, just as fast, potentially a little bit faster, or just been right there. You could, seeing how even Beatrice Chebet ran her 1:1500 this year and runs 3:54. I'm like, yeah, she also could be one of those people. It's like that's the beauty that we have right now in women's middle distance and distance, is that they're what is it, 4 of the top 6 of all time were in this race, and so like they'll be going head to head for years to come. So I'm excited.
What I think is that the general public loves to see somebody that doesn't lose. Yeah, like they want to see like
back a winning horse every time.
Back a winning horse. Yeah. But but the athletes want to see somebody that is human.
Yeah.
They want to see somebody that can be beaten. They want to see somebody that they themselves can beat.
Yeah,
and they did beat them today.
Yeah,
like Beatrice Chebet, and also it's not. Beatrice Chebet is not just your
average, every day runner.
Beatrice Chebet is a world record holder, so it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah,
but like we've talked about Faith Kipyegon as like kind of this this person that cannot be beaten.
Yeah.
And she has been beaten. She got beaten today. And it's like we love to build up these people to be more than they are. And they're humans. And they will lose. At some point, they will lose. And I'd love to see that. And it's like, it's just kind of fun. It's the sport.
Yeah.
And it took Beatrice Chebet, who's also kind of
one of the greatest of all time.
Human to beat them. But I think this is like an aspect of the sport that's incredibly fun.
Yeah. All right, let's shift gears over to the men's 800, which is another final that took place tonight. And we had David Rudisha in the house. I saw that they showed him on the broadcast in the stands.
Dave.
It's like all year long, everyone's been talking like, oh, that world record's going to go down. That world record's going to go down. And like at many of the Diamond Leagues that it was set up, huge fields, weather wasn't cooperative, whatever it was, it's still 140.90.
It's a ridiculous world record. It is
It's
insane.
going to go down.
So many times they
Yeah.
would dress it up.
That's really stupid.
So many Diamond Leagues. It'd be like, well, this is it.
Really stupid.
We're going to
It's like
pace
Monaco
for it.
Diamond
Yeah, we're
League.
getting
Here
it.
we go. This
Yeah.
is Viva Similis Field.
Why say that it's going to go down? Like, why hype? Like, if you were, it's almost like if Noah Lyles was to step on the track for the men's 200 and they're saying like, oh, it's going to go down. It's not going to go down.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the similar way.
1919 is very hard.
1919 is very hard. It's not going down.
Yeah.
In the exact same way, if the men's 800 meters, it's not close to going down.
No, it's not.
Like, yes, it would make more sense if you were to talk about last year when they were all running in the 141s and maybe there was a shot at it going down because you want to gather some eyes and to get all this attention on it. But it's not going down. See also Big Dave in the stands. That's all. You don't really see, like, you kind of like see him around, but you don't see him like talk much. Which
we did a podcast with him in Budapest, and that was like a rare one where it was like kudos to Kyle and I for pulling out like his greatest workout ever and him being so open to the whole thing. But like the dude is reserved, and then it's like I think the joke is that David Rudisha has still never announced his retirement and like refuses to announce his retirement.
Masters World Champs coming.
Kind of looks like he's retired, but
sort of definitely looks like he's retired.
But the cool part to all of this though is that Rudisha does still have an established connection with Wanyonyi, and so the story behind this is that before this race, he had a conversation with Wanyonyi and said like, if you need to make it fast, if you don't make it fast, you're not going to win. And
well,
when he's like, what?
He's like, okay, so you know what? I'm going to go through in 49.27 through 400 meters. Wanyonyi, an aggressor from the start in this one.
We knew, and this is like kind of what we knew. This was like this was a tactic from Wanyonyi that he's done every single race. He's fitter than everybody. We knew that he's somebody that likes to run from the front, looks great when he's pushing it at a very fast level. And so it's not surprising to see him do this.
Yeah.
Marco a rope today with the strategy of like, you know what? I've tested all these different things, and today I'm just going to go back to what has been tried and true. And there's just like, don't let Wanyonyi go. I'm going to be the one who's going to sit on him.
Best race of his season, and I know we were
100%,
we were chopping it up over his season earlier, in this week, but we certainly have seen him do everything under the sun in order to beat Wanyonyi, and it hasn't worked. And he gave himself the best shot today in order to win, he really was there and gave himself a chance to win. Last year, when I think that, like Eric and I's side, like when he was more fit last year, when he got to the championships, he actually sat. He was in the back of the field and he did his like Jakob Ingebrigtsen. I'm going to go to the back and then I'm going to outkick everybody. And he did that really well last year, but I don't think that he was in the fitness to do that this year. And so what we saw him do was be really aggressive early in the first 300 in order, to get on Wanyonyi and really like try to match his moves. I think what was interesting in that 800 was watching Wanyonyi really press from 400 to 500. which is generally when everyone's kind of like trying to settle or move. And when you're trying to move up in a field in an 800, when someone from the front is squeezing, it's hell. It is. I can't describe how much hell like it feels like you are in when someone from the front is pulling in an 800 when you were trying to move up from the back. So, kudos to Wanyonyi for his race. The dude is a dog on the final 100.
Yeah,
like he I know I'm yapping here. The dude is a freaking dog over the final 100.
That is the key takeaway. Yeah, you look at that final 100 meters and who's rounding up on his shoulder with Marco, and Bergen tried to go on the inside, Sajati. I think the Irishman left his run late, but to hold on and to like your expectation, and I know it's Wanyonyi and he's the Olympic champion, whatever, but just the way that everything pans out, and typically how this goes is like, damn, he's gone. They're going to come over the top. Like somebody is going to outkick this guy. And then every 5 meters, you're like, oh, but wait, well, actually, is he going to hold on? And maybe 5 extra meters, Sajati is your, world champion. But this guy, to your point, he is unrelenting in the last 100. You're going to have to bleed and kill to get to the front of that race. And Wanyonyi does such a great job in everybody being aware that it's like, shit, there's no easy pass in any of this. Like if I'm going to get past him, I'm going to have my best day. And he worked him. He ran it perfectly.
World championship record, yeah.
I think that was a championship record.
World championship
141s.
Wow.
A lot across the board.
I think what's like so impressive about Wanyonyi is that that this is kind of his strategy, and his strategy is the hardest strategy. I'm going to go out in the front, and then it's up to you guys to come past me and to, in the 800 especially, to go out hard and then try and keep stretching out, keep kicking from the front is what he did. And he did it. It's like to see him throughout the race, every single person, like you see Marco come up on his shoulder. They come up on him. He fights him off, and he's still, because the hardest position you have in a championship race, any race really, is to kick from the front. And the entire race, when Yoni's kicking from the front, it really is. It's like a cheat code to be able to kick from the front, because everybody, it's so much easier to be the hunter rather than to hunt, because it's just like, when Yoni has this ability, and that's why he hasn't lost in such a long time, because he's such a good racer from the front, and it's so hard to race from the front like he's doing. And my God, I mean, the times, like, do I see Wanyonyi running a David Rudisha time? I don't see him doing it right now. But
potentially,
well, yes, exactly. Potentially that is in the mix. But also, we shouldn't even be talking about the
world record.
Like the world record is not even something that we should be talking about, because it's not even close to on the table. Like last year, a lot of guys were running in the 141s, but Rudisha is a 140 guy.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like,
so
that
true.
it's not only not fair to these guys who are running at this level. It's just one of these things where it sets unrealistic expectation for fans that all of a sudden are like, oh man, like we should be, let's get some world record times. You're like, you don't understand, like
unfathomable how
quick
that is.
versus a rope like 5 times a year.
Having the best races that you could possibly have, and now you want David Rudisha times. It's not going to happen. Right now, like, let's get closer to those times, and then maybe we can talk about it. But we haven't earned the right to start talking about world records. Let's enjoy these fantastic matchups, and then at some point, if it comes close, then we can start talking about it.
Can I go back to my NBA analogy? And it's like watching the NBA finals, and you're watching, let's go, Steph Curry versus LeBron James, and it's just an incredible series. And then the thing that you're talking about afterwards is, man, I wonder if Steph Curry's going to break the the NBA record for threes or scoring.
Yes.
But it's like, no, you just got a 7-game series against like the greats.
Yeah.
But the thing that you're mentioning is a scoring record.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you actually just got the game. You got the real you got the thing that actually mattered.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that matters.
This is the battle, right? This is the thing that will get talked about for the ages. It's who can win, right? And I, Eric, it's a great point. And the other thing about, I suppose, this era as opposed to David Rudisha is when he ran that 140, he smoked him, and he was so far ahead. And he was just in a world of his own, and he was similar. He could kick from the front. He had the, Wanyonyi kind of has the shades of the Rudisha mold, but Wanyonyi also has about 5 or 6 guys in this race running 141s.
And he's 21 years old.
And he's 21 years old. But my point being, it is a deeper, like what we've got now. When we had Rudisha was kind of a league of his own.
Yeah.
It was like, man, he's untouchable.
100%
And
a
like
league of
he
his
was
own, yeah.
out in 142s or whatever it was for the rest of the field. We've got, on any given day, 6 to 8 guys who can run 141 mid to low. And that in and of itself is an improvement of the event because there's no longer a runaway leader. Coming into the home straight, there was 6 guys who you could have made a genuine case for being like, on their day, they could actually win this. And evidently the best guy won, but it's an exciting period to be able to throw a cloth over it, and it could happen another way.
It's one of these events where it's not just the event, right? It's like kind of like the sport and headlines in general, where it's like world records. You want to see world records, and you could just throw it out there, right? Because the average person will watch, who isn't a track fan, will see the times and be like, it is so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not close.
It's not close.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like if you yes.
Yeah.
It's worlds apart. But if you are like,
They're watching.
if I'm just like headlining this media company and I'm trying to get eyes on this
Yeah, of course
event,
you'll make it. Yeah,
yeah,
you'll
so I
milk
mean,
it.
I might
Yeah.
as well say I can say whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
And it's close to the average person that doesn't know. But the thing is, it's like it's not this it's not exciting. It's exciting enough without like saying that, oh, you need to break a world record.
Yeah.
Because that, like, you think about like the 202012 London final.
Perfect race.
It is the best 800-meter run you've ever seen.
Great race. It's like the greatest race in
Yeah,
history.
100%.
And so
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
just like come in and say, oh yeah, Wanyonyi's got a shot to break that record, because he has no shot as of right now.
Yeah.
If you could say last year,
Yeah.
guy could maybe have had a shot.
But he's also, to your point, he's young. He's got so much
I'm
time
I'm
to
not
hit.
saying
Yeah.
he doesn't have a shot.
No, I'm
at
agreeing
all.
with you.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah.
agreeing with you.
I'm just saying,
Time's
you
on our
shouldn't-
side here.
yeah, time's aside. Let's not
Yeah.
keep focusing on time.
Yeah.
Focus on the competition.
Yeah.
And like really hype the event.
Mm.
Don't hype. Don't bring in David Rudisha into the stands and be like, man, the record might go down today. Because Rudisha's sitting there stands going, this record is not going down today.
So I'll gladly
Yeah,
get to
Rudisha's sitting there, couple drinks deep, being like, I'm good. This world record that I've had, the greatest race in history.
I'm good.
I'm good.
This is not coming close to going down today, because what Rudisha had is not only lots of records and like races building and like this was the race. The 2012 800 race didn't come out of nowhere. That was this race that was like, it was one of these races. Yes, it was a steady incline of a build up to this race, and that's why it was such a climactic race. And if nobody's going to challenge Wanyonyi, you're not getting any sort of you're not going to even come close to the David Rudisha 140.9 race.
Yeah.
So let's not even
Let's pause
these
on the world
guys
record
haven't
talk.
These guys haven't built up to even work up to the world record race.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense to me to hype that up. But
It was a
look
good
at-
race tonight. Yeah.
fantastic race tonight, and keep doing that, because the 800 is still building and building, and it's one of the like every single other event, it's getting better and better, but it's not at world record standards right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I guess like one of the fun things about rewatching that 2012 race all the time is just when you look at the results page and you see all the letters that are in the results page. There's WR national record, course, PB, season best, whatever it is. So it's like tonight we got a lot of that. Championship record, season best, national record, season's best, PB, national record. But what I want to touch on in that regard, now shying away from times, is like big ups to the other guys outside of the medals who gave themselves like the best shots to win. Mohamed Atatui just like all the way in the back, but then unleashing that kick that we've seen just over the last couple races that like I potentially thought, I viewed him as like, hey, like that guy can either get bronze or silver depending on how the rest of the field ahead of him goes. Keon McPhillips of Ireland having like the best championship of his life today in that final 100 meters, charging home like no one else. Coming into this whole entire championships, like Mark English was the recently minted national record holder. Mark English, unfortunately, first guy out of the final, and also lost his Irish record to Keon this weekend, and then Keon just lowers it even more and finishes fourth in 1:42.15.
Now this is fun.
Yeah,
this is fun.
He smoked it twice.
He
wasn't even in the 143s
coming into the championship
until the semifinals.
Yeah,
these Irish, like that's
They're
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Man. Like these Irish guys have
142,
absolutely
1.5.
raised, and this like a really like under the radar rivalry of these guys because people aren't. Again, it's tough because they're at the World Championships.
Yeah.
And so if this was like another weekend, you would be talking about, like these Irish guys are just like absolutely lowering the record week after week. And but since it's the, it's the World.
The crazy part is that there's nothing beyond this too. So it's like we got to wait until next year.
This is it.
How like they stack up, and someone like Mark English, is returning to the training group with JT.
Yeah. And
like Mark English like leveled up this year, especially just in general, just getting into the 142s and like
shout out Justin.
Yeah, Justin Rinaldi's JR.
If you are an 800 meter guy who's been on the fringe for a long time and you don't have Justin Rinaldi's number, you've got rocks in your head. That guy, and he's Australian, and we're actually neighbors, which is quite funny. But what he's done for Josh Hoey and English, like less than a minute.
That's sick.
Yeah, listen, we go to the same shout out Jethro Canteen back home.
You think?
Honestly, if you're, his training is so proven. Like this is what you're looking for. Prove it to me in terms of how fast can I run and how well can I get through rounds. Done a pretty damn good job. And now I was unfortunate about Josh not making the team, but
how old is Mark's
a bit older,
yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Well, the gray hair throws people off.
Yeah.
Gray hair throws you off, but also his age.
He is also a bit older.
So it's like,
yeah,
especially like the 800.
Yes,
it's such a tough event. It's amazing that he's been able to do it this well, and he's getting better.
Yeah,
and so I'm not saying like he's done right now, right? No. But like this event is such a tough event. It's getting better. They're getting faster. He's getting older. It's one of these. It's like you have to be realistic.
Yeah.
And so, he's had such a great year, and he actually has had probably the best year of his life.
And then here comes Keon McPhillips to just like
disrupt it all.
Yeah, that's better for him.
Yeah. Now you got that person in your nationals.
Some fire.
Let's go.
Create the competition.
Yeah.
Because yes, you want to run against these other athletes, but there is a different sort of thing when you're running against one of your countrymen.
Yeah.
Who it's like you were the best. Now here's another guy that's coming in. You want to be the
competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want the competition. And I think it's so much fun to see it. 800 is one of these events it's a fun one.
Yeah.
Everyone loves to watch the 800. 2 minutes or less. It's like it's
good for attention span.
Right for attention span, right?
Yeah.
Now the TikTok attention span is gonna say, let's make this less. Let's make
17 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and then the year after that, I go, let's make this less.
And then we're back with Vine.
And then we're back.
Yeah.
Chris is bringing back Vine. Vine would be sick. Vine was a great thing.
It really was.
It was so awesome. So yes, I'm like a Vine guy, especially when it comes to the 800. But to see like the to Mark English.
Mm.
It's inspiring
Yeah.
to see him like progressing and like doing better than ever because he races whole championships.
Mm.
Like obviously he's a veteran, but like to see him like go through and just getting better and better each round, I thought it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it's there's actually not too many guys in this field, even though they didn't medal or whatever, that would be that disappointed with the way that they tactically approach the race and their times. Because
Jamaica's Navasky Anderson
exactly
clocking a PB of like a whole second plus.
Yeah. What's that? Two national record?
Max Bergen at the very like he stuck his nose in it from the gun.
I salute Max Bergen because he gave it a crack. He kind of got caught on the inside a bit. I could tell he wanted to get out, but when the Jamaican came around his shoulder with 200 meters to go, he kind of got locked in, but he still fought. And I actually thought he was about to Cole Hocker it and get on the inside of Wanyonyi. But again, another guy this year who's leaps and bounds has made huge advances in the way that he's competing, and I suppose the respect that you put on his name too. So that's
where did Bergen end up?
I think he was 6th in the end.
6th, yeah.
Yeah.
6th.
But he was there. He was there.
PB,
He
142.
was there.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
It just kind of, man, like this event, dude, it just shows you how stacked it is.
This is
Bergen PB today. And like he was a guy we'd all been kind of gassing up because he's always sound. It's like he's always very sound. He's always in the mix. I mean, he was taking Wanyonyi to the line in the Diamond League final.
Yeah.
And he was 6th today in the PB. And that, I mean, Jesus.
It was the best 800 of the year.
Best 800 of the year. And they'd also been trying to gas up like a potential world record, and it's not even anywhere fucking close to it.
Yeah.
Just shows you like how stacked this event is and how tough it is, how tough these world records are.
Yeah, 100%.
Wanyonyi Sajadi A-Rup, that's your podium. All right, that was the men's 800. Covers us for the distance races taking place tonight, except for actually the 800 at the end of the women's heptathlon. Anna Hall finally comes away with the gold medal. Phenomenal performance over the course of 2 days, and ends up actually being super interesting because we got 2 Americans on the podium, 4 medalists overall, as Talia Brooks ends up with the bronze medal, tied with Katarina Johnson-Thompson for bronze. And then in addition to that, let me see where I'm trying to dig up. Oh, here we go. All of the combined points score. So it was Anna Hall, Kate O'Connor from Ireland. So in addition to Keon, Kate O'Connor ending up with the silver medal, big for Ireland. Talia Brooks, Katarina Johnson-Thompson to the very point end up with that bronze. Fantastic heptathlon over the course of 2 days.
How do you I don't know if this mic works, but how do you go that many events with the scoring system that is in the 6,000s?
Yeah.
And then you tie.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
The odds are crazy. And it did end up happening. For Anna Hall, this completes a set. Now she's got gold, silver, bronze in 3 of the last 4 global championships. She is arguably like the best all-around female athlete in the world, potentially. The same way that people argue about like, oh yeah, the Olympic champion in the decathlon is the world's greatest athlete. I think that conversation, or no, in the decathlon for the men's, like with Ashton and all that stuff, like it was always like the whole argument about like that's the world's greatest athlete. Like tagline back to the Dan O'Brien Beyond days. Women's event, like with the heptathlon, 100%, like you can have that conversation around Anna Hall and just like the brilliance that she has had in the last couple of years. Yes, there was heartbreak in Paris over the fact that like she had knee surgery that January and like forced herself like to rush back and come back, and it wasn't fun for her. This year it was all about rekindling that passion that she has for the sport, which she did, I think, early on this season, throwing herself back into the mix against, the specialists in a lot of those events. She's never been one to shy away from competition in that regard. And then finally, when she did have Gotsies and she breaks 7,000 points, and then this time around comes away with gold in 6 6'8", 8'8". Like
What's her bet? Is she's had
she got
7,000. Is she the number 3
she's numbers
or 2?
number 2 all time
Number
behind
2 all
Jackie Jordan
time.
Kersey. And I mean, Jackie Jordan Kersey is a mentor to her, and so it's coming for Anna at some point very soon. And the interesting part about just like her whole series over the course of like the 2 days is that she got extra points in certain areas and then maybe didn't perform to her expectations in some of them and still was able to win gold. Whereas in the past, like panic might have settled in after like one event didn't go as well. But like for what she didn't get in the high jump that she had hoped for, she did get in like a shot put PB this time around. So Anna's phenomenal, and yeah, I mean, excited for more because she was one of those athletes who was like a face of Team USA and like all these corporate major sponsors in the lead up to the Paris Olympics. Now with the home Olympics on the horizon, like she's gonna have the title of world champion attached to her.
Do you think Anna's someone that's going to stick around and do just this event until, or
the fun part
Yeah.
is with the World Ultimate Championships next year is that she can explore some of her
Yeah.
options. Like, I think like she could, and I guess we'll bring on Anderson shortly, but high jump, right? Like she could be someone who can look to qualify in that event if she chose to just like go to a couple meets. Actually, Anna was telling me this in Miami earlier on in the season. Is like she's at a little bit of a disadvantage because like some of the marks and performances that they post in these in these events during the heptathlon don't count toward their world ranking if they were to be competing individually in those events. And so like Anna's high jump world ranking isn't super high because she has those best performances in the middle of a heptathlon. And so that is something that I think like should be petitioned to World Athletics is like, hey,
Yeah.
there are these performances that they are putting together. Like Anna Hall's 150, what was it, 150? No, was it 201 for the 800? What did she run in Gottsi's? Something like that, right? Anderson? It was like 201, 2 flat, whatever. It might have been 2 flat. I'm forgetting. It's a late night, and also it was a couple months ago.
201 is, I mean,
Insane.
Yeah.
like you're like a 150. I'm like, cannot. That's okay.
No.
That's
Oh no, I
insane.
think it's kind of like I got ahead of myself.
No, but even like
Yeah.
even
Two
the
flat.
that's the thing. It's like even the 20 like 2 flat, even 201 just shows the type of athlete.
After 7 events, yeah.
it's amazing. It
But that
really is.
That doesn't count towards her 800-meter world
And that's
ranking.
wrong.
And that's wrong.
That's
yeah.
it's crazy.
So it's like
should count more. Consider it's like in the
yeah.
Amongst a whole bunch
Yeah.
of stuff.
exactly yeah.
It's like Keely is the opposite. She's like, you know what? No, don't let it count because I definitely think like if Anna committed herself to 1 or 2 events in a year, she'd be so good. So
Oh yeah,
good.
it's like it's not fair to anybody to say like, oh yeah, it's she could be as good as any of these athletes, but it would be fun to watch her actually dive full into the 800 if she chooses to,
Yeah.
or any of these events, what she chooses to.
The beauty
it's
of it,
it's
the
not
beauty
yeah.
is that she now has 2 years to be able to do that. Next year, with no heptathlon at the
Yeah.
World Ultimate Championships, it's like, okay, pick and choose the events you really want to go
Yeah.
for, do that. And then even in 2027, now she's the world champion. You don't have to subject your body to a full-on heptathlon.
Yeah.
And so Anna's got plenty of time to get better, and today's win pays a lot towards her buildup towards 2028, where ultimately she can go into a home Olympics as a contender for a gold medal. And then when you win all of those events and you shine so bright across that, marketing wise, legacy wise, that's what you want to be able to go for. So exciting performance by Anna Hall today. All right, let's bring on our sprint expert, Anderson Emerole, to unpack for us what the hell is going on with these relays. There's still just tons of Eric,
Kicked out.
you're good. You
Love
guys
y'all.
can get some rest tonight. Eric and Mitch, thank you so much. Anderson, there are I'm seeing
Oof.
tweets, texts, all this kind of stuff.
Mayhem.
As to
This
just
is
what
wild.
is happening in the 4x4 and the 4x1 right now. Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Okay,
I mean,
so-
do you want to do the 4x4 first, since we got major U.S. drama, or do you want to?
Let's go. Well, so from a just purely standard perspective of just like an overall summary of things in the
Mhm.
4x1, the heavy contenders made it through, right?
On the
Canada,
men's side,
United States, except for
okay, well, there was actually a good amount of casualties here, right?
oh yeah, I'm
Athle-
looking at it now.
So,
Jeez.
so for us, right, United States, I think just starting there, we made it through very cleanly, which I did like for the men, where we saw Christian Coleman. We saw Christian Coleman was handing off to Ronnie Baker, handing off to Trayvon Bromell, handing off to T-Mars McCallum. So really strong team, and they looked pretty solid. Like all their handoffs looked pretty good. Maybe some little things. I mean, nothing's going to be absolutely perfect, but all things considered, looking at the history of the United States,
We got the baton around. That's okay.
got the baton around, and they're safely qualified into the final. And this is the first men's 4x1, and really, of course, we'll talk about the women in a second as well, but the first 4x1 under this new relay coach, right?
Mhm.
So I'm impressed with the United States going into the final, and they should.
But they're going to swap out probably most of this team.
Yeah, I suspect that. So I know for a fact Kenny and Noah are going to be on the team. And then it's possible Courtney Lindsay might get swapped out. He did the double. Not sure. I'm assuming that Christian Coleman, Kenny B, Courtney Lindsay, Noah Lyles might end up being the final team, or some combination of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's safe. I actually really did love.
I like the team.
Yeah, I like the team.
I like today's team too.
I liked today's team, but so they're through. Canada, they actually beat out the United States to get the win. And I mean, I don't know how Canada does it. Like they'll look pretty poor in their individual events and find a way to just show up in the 4x1, which is huge kudos to them. But they were able to get the win. So they're the Olympic champions. They're going to be a challenge going into the final. But then this is where we do get into some interesting discussion, because Jamaica, who probably on paper was a very strong contender to push the United States in that final for the gold medal, they end up dropping the baton and not executing the handoff, and DNF, right? They're unable to actually finish.
I'm seeing this now. Kishane Thompson.
Yeah. So
Like Kishane Thompson has now run at, what is it? World Relays.
London Diamond League, and here.
Never,
that-
and it's never gotten to him.
Yes, exactly. So when you say he's now run at the World Relays, he didn't
hasn't
run.
run.
He
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even get the baton because of the issues that they had. London Diamond League, they did get the baton around. That was actually the race they needed to qualify for World Champs. And then here, he doesn't get the baton. I don't know, it was Raheem Ford, and it was, to Kishane Thompson on the last handoff. It looked like Kishane possibly went out a little bit too early. He took off too early. Raheem Ford wasn't able to get it to him, and they dropped the baton. I mean, it sucks because Jamaica they went 1-2 in the 100. Like they had the strong team. They had, Brian Lavelle won the 200, and he's a strong 100 runner. So there was a possibility that we were going to see another USA versus Jamaica 4x1 going into the final, but
Not happening.
not happening. So that's Jamaica. That's Heat 1. Heat 2 also had some casualties because I think Ghana won. They were able to get safely through, but we lost, or South Africa, they lost. They didn't qualify through. Great Britain didn't qualify through, and that's the silver and bronze medalists from the Olympic Games last year. So it was a huge casualty. What was interesting here is Great Britain, they just didn't execute the last handoff. Their anchor leg just went off too early. They didn't even drop the baton. They just couldn't get it, and they were out the zone. South Africa, on the first leg, it was Sean Masongani, competed for Houston. He was on the first leg. He actually was hit by Marcel Jacobs from Italy. So it was very reminiscent of 2016, where Alison Felix, on the second leg, she was hit by Brazil, I think it was. And, they were able to protest, and they eventually ran again.
The runoff, the
They-
solo runoff,
the solo and runoff, which
time trial.
we'll talk about in a second with the 4x4. But the problem with South Africa is, and it's very clear, Italy, Marcel Jacobs, he hit Sean, but South Africa didn't complete the race, right? So if you remember in 2016, Alison Felix and English Gardner, they like went back, got the baton, and finished off the race because they knew they had to, I guess for whatever protest, they needed to make sure that they can do that, right? South Africa didn't do that. So they were not advanced. And that's that. So it's
So
crazy.
and then with Heat 3, it was
No. That
was just 1-2.
Yeah. 2 heats. So yeah,
I mean, it's setting up. Then are we looking USA versus Canada?
it's USA versus Canada. I think that's the race right now. I mean,
Gosh,
I know it makes
it's cool.
It's cool. It makes it easier, but obviously USA has to just get it around. I will say USA. Let me not say they have a great track record, but we are the defending world champions in the 4x1. 2022 we got the silver. 2019 we got the gold. So at world champs, we seem to always get on the podium in recent years. Olympics we have issues, but you know, I'd say we have a very, very good chance of getting the title tomorrow in the 4x1 for the men.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Nothing's guaranteed. All right, and then the 4x4.
Yes.
Which
or we can quickly.
Women's 4x1.
Yeah, that one was pretty chalk for the most part. All the main teams: United States,
Jamaica.
You had Great Britain, Germany. You had all the major players qualify through. USA ran Jason Sears to TT Terry to Kayla White to Shakira Richardson. JSIS is going to be subbed out for Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, which it'll kind of make the whole Dennis Mitchell squad.
So Melissa will lead off.
Seems like that, yeah. And I think
makes sense.
In my opinion, it makes sense. Obviously, Melissa is the fastest, so in theory, she would go on anchor. But I think just the synergy of that team and also the other places where each athlete can run, I don't think anyone can start as well as Melissa.
No,
like I'm not switching Sha'Carri and putting her on first leg at all. That would be kind of rough. Sha'Carri has great top end speed, but a very, very poor start. So yeah, I think we hold things down. So
just trying to think when that'd be a good stat. When's the last time Sha'Carri led off a 4x1?
If ever. Maybe in high school. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is pretty chalk and pretty smooth.
The fun thing about the relays is that like you want the photo moment of like having the star anchor, and yes, Sha'Carri is an amazing star, but like the star of this championships is
Melissa
MJW.
Yeah, it's Melissa. So it'll be that would be great, but it seems, unless who knows, maybe they do some little switcheroo when
we'll see
the final. But yeah, things are pretty chalk there.
All right, before we get to the men's 4x4, let's do ladies first.
Oh yes,
women's 4x4. Pretty
smooth as well.
Yeah.
USA qualifies through. Jamaica qualifies through. Netherlands, they're smoothly through. I think those are the top 3. Great Britain is also through. So
okay, so the USA squad today was Alexis Holmes, Rosie Effiong, Kanera Hayes, and then Britton Wilson.
Yep.
What's the 4 for the final, you think?
I think so. I'm not sure, but so I know I'm pretty confident that obviously Sydney.
Yes.
I suspect we're gonna have Aaliyah Butler and Isabella Whitaker because they ran in the open 4 as well. And they're significantly faster than all these women, at least this year. And then I suspect Alexis Holmes will be. It's either I probably think Alexis Holmes will be added in.
Yeah.
She anchored the American record team from last year at the Olympic Games. She also anchored the mixed relay at that won gold earlier in the championship. So I suspect Alexis Holmes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Britton Wilson or even Lena Irby Jackson, who was actually 4th place at USA's, and she was on the mixed relay. So there's some options, but I would probably guess Alexis Holmes.
Yeah, because I was just trying to think of like, is there a fun option out of the 200? But then like, I don't think I could see Mackenzie Long or Brittany Brown.
No, we don't have that
battle.
Yeah, we don't have that
Gabby
Thomas. Yeah, we don't have that situation this year, unfortunately. But yeah, this one should be pretty smooth, I think.
And then USA goes into the final, heavy favorites.
Heavy favorites. I mean, yeah, USA. I think behind them we're looking at Jamaica, Netherlands, Great Britain for the silver and bronze. But yeah, he's looking good.
Okay, then I gave it some time because now at this point it is just after 1 o'clock in the morning here in Tokyo, and I wanted to see what other information starts to file in. But men's 4x4 is drama filled right now in terms of just appeals and protests and all this kind of stuff. So Anderson, break it down for us. The heats are taking place. Heat one.
Does that Donovan?
Honestly,
honestly, this. Oh my gosh!
Any different right now?
Oh my gosh! Donovan,
Donovan could have been a good option.
Could have been on this relay. He could have been on this relay, and the outcome would have been different. Well, so I mean, it's freaking crazy that Oh Lord! So this 4x4 kicked off. We had USA is the most dominant team by far.
This is our event.
This is the event. This is the event that we always either win, or if there's a freak accident, we get silver or whatever it may be. All right. So you have Chris Bailey leading off. He's passing off to Demarius Smith, right?
Yeah.
And then he's passing off to Bryce Deadman, who's passing off to Genoa McIver. Chris Bailey has a strong leg where, he has a relatively strong leg. He doesn't hand off in first, but by the time he does hand off, I think Prince is able to, or Smith is able to get the baton, get the break, and maybe one team is ahead of him. Now, he's running relatively strong, but then he does start to falter a little bit on his leg. And by the time he hands off, and this is where the issues start to come in, he's slowing down on his leg, like the lactic is starting to kick in, and they're like in the middle of the pack when they get to like 200, 250 or so. By the time they get to the handoff, you have a whole bunch of guys, but particularly you have Zambia and the United States right next to each other. Somehow, Bryce Deadman is about to get the baton. Whoever for Zambia is also about to get the baton, but the guy for Zambia is passing like diagonally. They're coming in from opposite directions, and they're passing off, so they kind of impede the United States, where Demarius isn't able to hand off to Bryce Deadman as efficiently as he would like. Bryce does eventually get the baton, but it slows down, right? And we could see the
if you're watching on YouTube, we've got a photo of it on our screen, and it's just like absolute chaos.
Like literally, it's like crossed in between. Like how
the evidence is right here in 4K.
Yeah, like
sort of.
we're how are we supposed to make this handoff? We're literally getting blocked off. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. So, but kudos to Bryce Deadman for getting the baton and going out. He goes out really, really strong. He realizes, and Bryce Deadman is one of the more experienced athletes. He's been competing on the relays since 2021 at the Olympic Games, actually here in Tokyo. And he was just on the mixed relay as well. Gets out really strong. Also, that lactic kicks in because at this point we are pretty far behind, when it comes to the lead. But Bryce gets it. Kicks things off on his leg. He hands off. We're really, really far behind. He hands off to McIver, and he similarly goes off really, really strong, but that lactic kicks in and he fades all the way back. And unfortunately, we're relegated to the back of the pack and we don't qualify.
Yeah. So the United States ends up finishing 6th.
Yeah.
Which then is a total shock to everyone watching. And we're like, what the heck is gonna happen? Like we got
bullied in the exchange zone.
We did. We really did.
Pretty much every single exchange zone we got bullied.
We really did. It was wild. And I'm just like, this shouldn't happen, right? Like this should not happen. We have so much depth in the 400 that it's insane. I know that our individual 400 guys didn't do as well in the open, but it's like we still have so much depth that this shouldn't happen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, looking at the talent that we have on the bench, it's just like this shouldn't have been the team today to get this whole thing done.
Yes, I'll say I'm of the opinion that Vernon probably could have been on this. I feel like
I'm so curious what the decisions are that happen. Like, is it a situation where he collectively with like the coaches and the other guys didn't want to run because that's
Jeremy Warner now coaching?
They thought
they were about Jeremy Warner is
like
yeah.
we just But I guess ultimately it is up to the coaches to say who is running and who
Who isn't,
isn't,
who isn't.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you kind of like the fault has to lay on that, right?
that's true. Maybe there was a level of confidence that it's like, all right, we'll be able to safely qualify because it's like top 3. And we'll be able to get top 3 for sure. I mean, maybe that was the case. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we shouldn't have been 6. But
I will say, and this is going to sound like I'm being like defensive of the U.S. and saying that like the outcome should have been anything different, and I'm not. But I do think that, and this goes for all of the teams, I think it's unfair, is that the lineup in the exchange zone is set at 200 meters, and it doesn't make any sense because there's so many position changes over the final 200 of each leg that you'll sometimes have athletes that are in like second place that fade to fifth at the 200 to go on their leg mark. And so the officials will line them up as second. So then you have athletes that are running all the way across the final home stretch. And it's chaos. And you end up with situations. This isn't as
Like
bad because
this.
but we need to go back and watch 100 because like this could have maybe ended up differently. But,
Yeah.
and they're right next to each other. But last year, I remember being on Twitter going like, what the hell is going on? Like what, or 2 years ago, it's like, have we always been doing this? Because like you're looking at athletes run like from lane 1 to lane 5 to find their teammate. And it's like, what the hell is going on? I haven't seen, like we've been running track since middle school practically. And it's like, I've never seen this before.
It's wild. It's wild. I agree. It's crazy. And so I mean, we'll talk about it. That's one of the things where I don't know, maybe the official is at fault and but it does lead to, so USA doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
And then we find out that there's a protest.
Yeah.
There's some back and forth.
Real quick, Heat 2 goes kind of
yes.
according to plan. Botswana, Belgium, Great Britain, they make it through.
Yeah.
Jamaica ends up 4th. But then, all right, like then the United States ends up in, like, we joked about there being another world war when it comes to like protests and all that kind of stuff. Tonight, we initiated one. Yeah.
Literally. So a few minutes after we find out that the United States is protesting, well, actually, I'm down. I go down to the mix zone and they run through like the 4x4 guys. They're just running through, and we find out from USATF that they're potentially they need to go find out if we can protest. So eventually, a protest is put in for them to be able to protest the impediment at the handoff. It's officially filed, and at that point, we're waiting for a while. So we don't have like any updates or any new information. Everyone is just waiting TBD. There is a weird point. I'm just like checking the results. It's at one point said that USA was DQ'd, and then it was reversed back. The second heat goes off. Like they run, and it's later shown that I think Brazil and Australia were DQ'd. And I say all this because as we're waiting for the protest for the United States to, I guess, like, go through to get more information, I find out from USATF that there's like 7 different teams that are protesting between the 2 heats.
Insane.
It was just
Everyone
wild.
hates us.
It's wild. So USA is just like the catalyst for all this. But it's like Zambia is protesting, apparently, in the United States, apparently Kenya is protesting. All these kinds of things are going on. So we eventually find out that the United States, well, I guess, I don't know if it was like found out. The United States was not advanced, right? Their protest or something wasn't accepted. But then later on, I think they appealed, the decision. Eventually, I guess the appeal is approved. But what turns out to occur is that Zambia is DQ'd. They're disqualified. And World Athletics puts out a release saying that Zambia impeded Kenya.
Kenya got brought into the whole thing.
And I'm going to be honest, I didn't get a chance to watch the full race back, but like, I don't know when that happened, but it happened sometime during the race. So they impeded Kenya and they impeded the United States.
Hilarious.
Wild. So because of that, Zambia's DQ'd, but now we're going to have a runoff between Kenya and the United States.
Good old fashioned runoff at what time? Let me see. What time is it? At
I think it's
10:40 in the morning here in the United States.
Yes. So a good, like, whatever, 9 hours or something like that from now.
Well, the funniest part is that we posted about this runoff, and Chris Bailey is in our comment section being like, what? And it's like, that's how one of the guys in our 400 pool found out that there's going to be a runoff.
And what's crazy, I think from my understanding, like it has
Same
to be
team.
the
It has to
exact
be
same
same team.
team.
Yep.
They're running in the same lanes. Like, and again, this is reminiscent of 2000 and 16. Okay, so we have the video of the screenshot of how Zambia impeded Kenya on the screen here, and they're like pushing up against Kenya.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty bad.
This is like
caught in 4K. What are you expecting when there's a stadium full of 60,000 people?
Yeah, so Zambia was, I guess, they were out to get everybody. But so we'll have this runoff, just Kenya, just the United States, the exact same, 4 guys on each team.
The United States should run away from Kenya.
They should
but you're about to say but.
Well,
but
I mean, but it's like on paper they should.
It's the same
exactly,
guys,
it's the exact same guys, right? And so they weren't thinking of this, right? They were ready to run one race, and that was it. Maybe some guys come back for the final at night, but now they have to. Obviously, they cooled down. They have to wake up early in the morning, warm up, be ready to run another unexpected race at their best, because whoever wins this race gets the last lane in the final, which I think is going to be
and it's going to be later on in the day.
Later on in the day, right? So you're talking about running within a span of 24 hours, less than 24 hours. 3 4x4s will be run, hopefully by the United States, right? We want to see them in the final, but that's
it's chaos. But you need a mic. You need to hold it up to. We're looking at this right now. Kenya is holding.
Wow. So baton or their jersey or whatever. It's like, yeah, this is kind of wild. This is all kinds of like recklessness in between. Okay, this is pretty wild.
So here's the thing. It's like if you're any other country in the world, this is why you have it out for the United States. It seems like the scriptwriters are really trying to force a way to have the United States in the final.
Yeah.
Which, yes, it makes this thing so much easier instead of Botswana just stomping the ground on everyone. It's like you need the United States to be in that 4x4 final.
Yeah, they need to be. And again, it's just these same 4 guys have to wake up tomorrow morning to be able to run as hard as they can. On paper, Kenya did beat us in this heat, so it's like
I guess on paper, yes, that did happen.
So whatever. I don't know. Kenya's feeling confident, but I don't know. I'm confident in our guys to be able to get this done. But yeah,
strap those spikes up, boys.
Like,
let's
listen,
get going.
They got to put in work. Like this is it. The United States has never missed a 4x4 final at the World Championships ever. Like, just looking back through history, ever. There's been some DQs throughout the years, but like they've never DQs in the final. So
you missed that final.
I mean,
stay in Tokyo. Like, I don't know.
So that was the relay drama, 4x4 drama. I mean,
excellent work, Anderson. Because like I feel like over the last 2 hours, like there's just been so much circulating online, and I was like, we need someone to just piece this whole thing together, explain it to me in 10 minutes or less. And
crazy, man.
Thank you.
It was crazy. So
all right, well, we've got one more day of action, right?
Yeah. Last day tomorrow.
Wow.
Everything will be a final.
Everything's a final tomorrow. One more day of action here at the World Athletics Championships. We had a super fun comment come through. I think it was on the Spotify comments or an Apple review, saying it's there's nothing like waking up and watching the races and then just listening to all these post-race shows all throughout the afternoons. It feels like I'm watching or talking track with my friends. And it's like, well, on our side of things, that's what we wanted to accomplish by doing these shows. Yes, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. We're sacrificing sleep every single day. We're talking every single time that we say hey, this might be a shorter podcast episode because we didn't have that much. We still end up being, chatting for 90 plus minutes. Why do we do it? We do it because we have a love for this game. We have a love for this sport. And we like sharing that with all of you. So if you want to take the extra 30 seconds while you're listening to this right now, and if you made it this far even, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It will lift my spirits. and then subscribe on YouTube. We've got plenty of people watching these things live. We like interacting with people in the chat. In addition to that, like corresponding with the newsletter, it goes out every single day during a championship. David Melly's been absolutely crushing that, and then just also in addition, like the live social all throughout. So, yeah, this has been a lot. We got one more day of it. I'm hanging tough. And I couldn't imagine how much more tired I'd be if I was running this whole entire time. So this knee injury has been a blessing in disguise. I'm excited. One more day, straight finals. Let's do this thing. I love track and field, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow.